Well, the first thing that I would say is that I have been one of the main opponents in Congress of these attempts at charter change. And I think that they're misguided. They're misguided because if you look at China, if you look at Vietnam, if you look at Indonesia, they have nationalist provisions which are even more strict than ours, okay, in their constitution, in their basic in their basic constitutions as states. So I would say that that's the arguments of those who have proposed this charter changes really don't hold that much water. The second thing that I would just like to say is that, look, even with those nationalist provisions, we have foreign interest groups already controlling vast sectors of the economy. What do you think about Pangilinan? Pangilinan is a front man for Indonesian interests, the Lim family. And they've cleverly used the 60-40 rules. They have cleverly manipulated it in order to gain control for a foreign conglomerate, the Lim family. So instead of loosening even more, which will be basically giving our economy on a silver platter to such conglomerates as the Lim Indonesian conglomerate, we should in fact be tightening even more. Look at the transmission, okay? The transmission is controlled, monopoly, run by a state enterprise from China. So don't talk to me about foreign investors not thinking that the Philippines is too tight. No, we should tighten up instead of loosening up, because otherwise we have a country that will be given to corporations like the Pangilinan Indonesian corporations, the Chinese state electric company, and to CP, the Thai conglomerate, which one of the biggest food conglomerates in Southeast Asia. It has gotten a lot of incentives and tax holidays from the government, while our small and medium hog and poultry producers don't enjoy the same incentives. So tama na yung favoring foreign investors over our domestic investors. And this is why the hog producers, the poultry producers, small and medium entrepreneurs have found me as their champion, because they're being eased out of business by all of these foreign companies coming in with the blessings of the Aquino administration.
So, sir, are you for or against the status quo?
My God, we've got to revise this status quo. I mean, you have this goddamn political economy that favors foreign interests, is says yes to the IMF and the World Bank, is very much pro-globalization. What has happened? We've seen what has happened over the last several years. We need to bring back an activist government. We need to bring back industrial policy instead of saying that a government is bad. We need to bring back redistributionist policies. We ought to kick out agrarian reform ministers that don't deliver. What you need when it comes to agrarian reform, you can't have people that conciliate vested interests. You need Genghis Khans in order to be able to do that. We really need social reform of a major magnitude in this country, because 30 years of EDSA has not brought anything of substance to our people. And we're running out of time. Okay? Either we really live up to the economic and political empowerment that was promised by EDSA, or you have idiots like Bongbong Marcos come back to power. So it's a race between real reform or the right coming back to power.
Okay, sir. So do you have any alternative propositions to the possible amendment? Or possible alternative propositions to the possible amendment?
Yeah. Well, my alternative proposition is, let's have fact-driven economic policy rather than ideology-driven economic policies resting with illusions about the market and capitalism. Okay? What we need to do is we need to make the domestic market the driver of change in this country, and that's connected to income redistribution. putting money in the hands of the population. And that's also connected to basically having an economy that does not indiscriminately open itself up in agriculture, in industry and services to the world market. And we have an economy that places the interests of domestic producers above that of foreign producers. In other words, what you really need is a 180-degree turn from the failed policies of the last 4 decades. And I think that it's time that we do that, because if we don't, we'll just keep on going downhill. And so we really need to really reform our political economy.